Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 4K channel. Today's latest battle report. My Ultramarines finally make it onto the channel in their first fledged battle report on their own. Today's opponent is the Word Bearers. Of course it was going to be the Word Bearers, you can't not have them against the Ultramarines. So it should be a good first battle, hopefully, it'll be nice and fun. Mission we are doing, Big Guns Never Tire. So we've already rolled, there are 5 objective markers down, and they are, there's number 3 down here, number 2 in the open, in the what probably was an Imperial Park, in the glory days of the Imperium. People would have enjoyed their time, and now it's surrounded by bastions and fortified. So number 1 objective marker is here behind the bastion, and then we have another one over here by this bastion, and then finally the last objective marker in this ruined building. So we are doing Dawn of War deployment. It's going to be fun. Let's go take a look at the armies. HQ for the Ultramarines today, I am taking a chaplain. This guy is equipped with a bolt pistol. Troops, I am taking 2 squads of tactical marines. The sergeants have got artificer armour and have got power swords. The normal marines are just equipped with their bolters. Over to elite, I am taking a squad of terminators, all equipped with chain fists. Next elite choice, I'm taking my Invictara squad. These guys have their bolt pistols hidden behind their shields, and they will be riding around inside of my Spartan with the las cannons and the heavy bolters. And then finally, I am taking my Scorpius pattern whirlwinds, lay down lots of fire on the traitor scum. So that is my 1,250 points. HQ for the Word Bearers today, I'm facing Zardu Lyak and 2 Blade Slaves. His psychic powers are Summoning, Cursed Earth and Sacrifice. Also there is a chaplain, he is a level 1 psyker. Over to troops, we have got a Bolter Tactical Squad with the Numkio Vox and 2 Apothecaries, because there's 1 squad there and there's another squad over here, exactly the same layout. There are 2 Rapier Quad Mortars, which are going to be laying down lots of firepower onto my approaching Ultramarines across the board. And finally, we have a Democles Command Rhino and 1 Predator. So that is the 1,250 points of Word Bearers, traitorous Word Bearers, that are going against the righteousness of the Ultramarines. The Terminators are on this side of the board. They are going to have to slowly walk across, but they have 2 objective markers in their way before they get over the board. They are going to be supported by the Spartan. Inside the Spartan is the Invictara squad with the chaplain, with the flare shield. I'm hoping it's going to be able to make its way across the board quite nicely. Behind the bastion we have the Scorpius whirlwind. I'm hoping that this thing will lay fire down across the entire battlefield, giving me cover as much as they go. And over this side of the board we have 2 10-man tactical squads combined, well, kind of running alongside each other up into the buildings, into the woods, hopefully clearing out the right hand side of the board. So facing off against the Ultramarines we have the traitorous Word Bearers. They've got firepower of a Predator with a Legion tactical squad in there. There is an Apothecary and a, what was it again? A Nuncio box. I will get used to these names. And behind them there are the Blade Slaves and Zardu Lyak. Games Workshop, thank you for creating such awkward names when you're trying to film battle reports. It's so much fun. Over this side of the board we have another tactical squad. Again, in there is the Apothecary and the chaplain is in there as well. Oh yes, there he is. There he is, hiding out in the ranks with his plasma pistol. Next to them is the Damocles Rhino. Such a nice paint job on this. I'm hoping it comes across on YouTube as nice as it is in real life, because this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Finally, on the left-hand side of the battlefield, in the ruined buildings, we have the Rapier gun platform. So these 2 are staring down at the tactical squads of the Ultramarines that are going to have to make their way across. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm hoping I can get my Ultramarines close enough to these to destroy them, but I'm thinking the main punch of the army is down here, so that's why my Spartan is there with my Victara squad in. Hopefully get in and cause as much carnage as we can, killing off all of these guys, maybe. Let's head over to turn 1. The Predator reacting to the threat of the Terminators, knowing that there's an objective marker down this side of the battlefield, has moved around the building. He's got a nice clean line of fire, so it's difficult for the Terminators to work their way around there. The tactical squad have moved forward. They're heading up towards the other objective marker, but they do have the Spartan in their sights. Can they survive the onslaught of the Spartan and then get into close combat? To wait and see. And then the only other thing that's moved is in the middle of the ball, in the middle of the battlefield, is this tactical squad have moved up and across a little bit to secure this objective and covering what used to be the Imperial Park. Everything else has kind of stayed still, and we're going to head over to psychic and shooting. Sorcerer down the far end of the battlefield, right at the back. Did sacrifice. Screaming Marine was hit by a bolt of lightning from his own Sorcerer and was consumed and turned into a Herald. So I now have first elements of demons on the table. He also managed to cast Summoning. So in the building, Deep Strike, we have lots of these little nurgling lovely things. Yeah. Gonna more coming my way, I am sure. He also managed to cast Cursed Earth as well. Over to actual shooting. The Predator opened up at the one Terminator they could see around the side of the building. The gunners inside managed to miss. Maybe the worry of the Ultramarines coming for revenge after Calth has got to them inside that tank. The Democles Rhino did their 1 per game barrage. He ordered down a barrage attack from the cruiser in orbit, causing, I think it's like four wounds onto my Ultramarines, killing them outright. Managed to look out Sir my Sergeant, so he is still alive. That's always helpful over here. The guns on the left-hand side of the battlefield, these things are going to cause me problems. They loaded their shells. The air was scorched as these things went through the barrel. The boom echoed round the battlefield, killing off about another 3 or 4 from these 2 squads down here. Hit their targets and caused a lot of damage down there. I kind of knew my Ultramarines were going to struggle on that side of the board. I'm just hoping that the strength and power over here is enough to nullify the threat on the right-hand side of the battlefield. The Terminators have slowly started to move up the battlefield. They're now entering the ruins of one of the Imperial buildings. Not sure which way to take them. Do I take them into the Wordbearers tactical squad, into the demons that have now appeared, or into the Predator? Kind of thinking the Predator's my biggest threat, especially for my Spartan, which the driver has put his foot onto the throttle. He's opened up. He's coming across the battlefield. It's going to take me a little while to get over here, I think. I'm going to have to lay some fire down from the las cannons on the front, hopefully killing off quite a few of these guys here. My Whirlwind has stayed still. My remaining tactical squads have converged onto another one of the ruined buildings. Hopefully I'm going to run these in the shooting phase, get them into the building, get them into some cover, and I can bring them out and hopefully get into combat with the guns that are causing me issues and will do all battle unless I deal with them. The 2 tactical squads have ran up, getting into the cover again, out the range and the fire of them guns. Like I said, hopefully working their way through the ruins, scrambling their way through, bursting their way through the other side and into them guns. Need to neutralise that threat. Down here, the Scorpius got a target lock on the word bearers down here. Now the Warlord is in there. The tactical squad took 11 wounds. They got slammed by 4 explosions in the face. But the guy with the artificer armour, the apothecary, was like, "It's all right, lads, I've got this," and took most of the wounds himself. Only managing to kill 2 off in the end. I have 11 wounds. Yeah. Down here, the Spartan. The Spartan owned up its really only target, which is the other tactical squad down here, causing 3 deaths. So the front 3 Wordbearer tactical squads are no more. They were also opened up on by the Terminators inside the building, who managed to see them through the ruin of the building, opening up and unfortunately not managing to do any damage down there. So at the end of turn 1, I managed to kill 3 from that squad, 2 from this squad, where the Word Bearers managed to do quite a lot of damage. And there's about 6 or 7, well, probably about 6 Marines dead from over here. So at the end of turn 1, I would definitely say it is game the Word Bearers. Let's head on to turn 2. On a little side note, we realised that these guys had actually deep strike into a building, so he rolled on the mishap table, and a 1 was rolled, so the entire unit is destroyed. But I'm sure that the little green blobs will be making a reappearance. The Predator continues its slow drive up the battlefield, heading towards that objective marker there. He's got the Terminators in the ruins, if you can see them through the rubble, but my Terminators now have sight of this, hopefully destroying it in combat. But the tactical squad round here, with the Psyker and the Blade guys, have all started to move up. They're all heading down towards the Spartan and the Terminators over there. Got to deal with this threat. I really could do with killing off these guys at the back, stop any more stuff being summoned up. The Rhino command tank has moved up as well, getting closer. These guys have all moved round, holding on to the objective at the back of the battlefield in their own half. I think the Whirlwind will try and land some more death onto these guys and hopefully kill off more than 2 in my turn. And then finally, and obviously, the guns haven't moved. Their gun positions are secured. They are quite happy with their field of view across the battlefield. They're quite happy they've got squishy tactical Marines coming towards them. Sorcerer, weaving his magic to the Dark Guards, has managed to sacrifice another Space Marine. He squealed in pain and burst out of his armour, became another Herald. So I have 2 of these on the board now that I have to deal with. He also managed to cast Cursed Earth as well. Into shooting, the Predator opened up at the Terminators inside the ruined buildings and failed pretty much everything, really. The tactical squad have ran, and the Sorcerer and these guys have also ran as well, bringing them nicely within range of the Spartan this turn. He might be trying to lure me out of this Spartan on purpose, but you know what? I think I'm going to take the bait. These guys down here haven't done nothing at all. And finally, these guys here, these evil guns have opened up, killing off about another 4 of these tactical guys down here. So as this barrage does ignore cover, so I'm going to have to run these guys up maybe and try and get them in. I get this impression that these guys are just going to soak up all of the firepower from them guns and be a human sacrifice while I try and clear up down this end of the board. The Terminators have smashed their way through the ruined buildings. Well, apart from that one guy, have smashed their way through the ruined buildings. They're looking at the Predator. It's like a 9-inch charge, but you never know. I might be able to pull that off and get in, get myself a victory point for destroying the heavy support choice down here. The Invictara squad and the Chaplain are out of the Spartan. They're within a nice easy charge range of these guys here, so they're going to open up with their bolters and their plasma gun, plasma pistol from these guys, and the Spartan will probably open up at these guys back here. Scorpius has obviously stayed still, ready to open fire. These guys down here failed their morale check. The first of my tactical squads is falling back, and the second squad passed. They are in the ruins. They are looking quite good, and they've still got a long way to go though, but these guys running does not help the Ultramarines cause. The Invictara squad and the Champion opened up at the tactical squad that are literally right in front of them. Failed to hit. Yep, don't want to talk about that one. The Spartan tank opened up with his las cannons at the guys at the back. I took one of these big nasty blade guys down to 1 wound left. So 3 wounds each. These things are quite nasty. So that Spartan so far is performing quite nicely. The Scorpius Whirlwind ignored the tactical guys in the middle. He's got bigger targets. He's been given the orders by the chaplain to take out these guns. He opened up. The shell landed in the gap back here, and then all of the scatters failed to, well, all of the flips of the template failed to hit anything at all. So the guns remain unscathed, and this tactical squad have ran through the door in the building. So we're getting closer. They just need to survive another barrage of fire from the guns, and then they will be in. So it's going to be over to assault. The Invictara squad are going to go into the Tactical Marines, and then hopefully the Terminators will make the charge into the Predator. The Terminators fail to make the charge into the Predator tank, so that's going to have to be dealt with next turn. However, they have got to survive the punishing fire of the Predator that will be laid down on them. On a slightly different note, the Invictara squad and the chaplain made it into combat with the tactical squad, pretty much wiping them all out. One guy survived. He rolled a snake eyes for his leadership test, so that is going to continue a turn. I'm guessing that the Psyker and his 2 bodyguards will be joining in. However, the Invictara squad and the chaplain there are quite formidable, so will they be able to drag them down? I hope so. Driver of the Predator has looked out of his small little window slit on the world, and he's seen these Terminators coming down for him. He's done the sensible thing. He's shoved the Predator in reversed and backed up away from them. He knows that get into combat with these and it is game over for the Predator. Round here, the Herald and the Psyker are supporting their one remaining tactical brother. And looks like they will be going into combat, but like I said, the Invictara squad are a tough cookie, so I'm hoping that they will survive and do a lot of damage back. The only other thing to move really is the Damocles Command Rhino that's moved up and around into the middle of the battlefield. These guys are just quite happily sitting on their objective, just sitting there, relaxing, chilling out, taking in the pretty scenery of the trees and the surrounding death and carnage, while they go untouched. The Warlord choice at the back has managed to cast 2 spells this turn. He managed to cast Cursed Earth and Force, so that's going to make them tougher when they join into the combat down here. The Predator, who has basically missed every single shot that he's been putting on the Terminator, has finally managed to kill 2 of them, so I'm down to 3 remaining Terminators. Now, from my point of view, do I choose to go into the Predator, or do I change focus and join in with the Invictara squad down here in combat? I'm not 100% sure on that. I think I'm going to have to see how the combat goes once the Warlord is in. Down here, basically the bolters off the command tank and the bolters from here open up at the squad here, killing off 1 guy. Because I'm now that close to the gun platforms, they cannot open with their barrage weapon. They had to open up with their secondary shell, well, I managed to save them all really. So this tactical squad down here are alive. There's 4 left, so as long as I pass my leadership check, I think it's time to get into these guns and neutralise that threat. However, there's still quite a lot of word bearers on the battlefield. We're on turn 3 and we haven't even got first blood yet. Zardu and his blade slaves made it into combat. They went in against the chaplain. The chaplain survived everything and managed to kill off the blade slave who had 1 remaining wound. The Invictara squad, now basically the command came down from the chaplain that the tactical squad had to die, so I did split attacks. 1 guy put his attacks on the tactical marine, killing him off instantly, which gave me first blood, and then the remaining 3 put their attacks on the blade slave, causing a lot of wounds really. So I managed to kill off the blade slave and put a wound onto Zardu, the warlord choice of this word bearer's army, so he's on 1 wound. So next turn I'm hoping that he will die and the Heralds will die, and it will free up this squad again to go on the rampage or get back in the Spartan. So to start my turn off in the movement phase, these guys have failed their morale check and have ran back 9 inches. These quite scarily close to the board edge. Really not done anything in this battle. I could really do with rallying them and getting them back into the fight. These guys are still locked in combat down here, hopefully going to be killing off their warlord in the next assault phase. Spartan has moved round, it's brought its las cannons and its heavy bolters to bear here. I'm thinking las cannons into the command tank and then the heavy bolters into the tactical squad behind. This Scorpius Whirlwind has obviously stayed still. I'm thinking that the barrage is going to have to go up and over the top of the bastion into the tactical marines. My running away squad have rallied, so they're back into the game. And finally, these guys have rallied as well. So my tactical squad have now moved around the building. They have their sights firmly set on these guns that have been causing so much carnage all game. I think it's time to get into combat over there and do what Ultramarines do. So after a disappointing movement phase for the Ultramarines, the shooting has gone a lot better. The Spartan tank opened up with his las cannons, destroying the Rhino. The resulting blast killed off one of the tactical squad behind. That squad was opened up by Power of the Machine Spirit by the Storm Bolters on the top, killing off another 2. And then the Scorpius commander inside, targeted, he hits straight on, killing off another 3. So that's always good down there. That squad is now quite depleted. Down here, the Ultramarines opened up with their bolt pistols, killing off one of the crew of the gun. So they're going to be going into combat down there. And then, of course, we've got the combat to resolve down here. So I'm hoping at the end of this turn, Warlord dead, Heralds may be dead, and then also one of the guns dead down here because the Ultramarines made it into combat. And then I win. Yay, but no, probably not. But let's go find out if I can actually pull this plan off. Good round of combat. The first of the gun platforms has gone, so it just leaves me the one on the floor above where I'm currently standing. I think I should be able to get into combat and kill that off next turn. Down here with me Invictara's squad, great round of combat. Managed to kill off the Warlord and the remaining slave blades even. So on the Heralds I've done 1 wound as well, so the Invictara squad and the Chaplain took no wounds in that round of combat. So I'm going to hopefully take them out, and then I think it's time for these guys to go take out the Predator and then leave the Spartan to hopefully go and clear up the remaining tactical squad with the Whirlwind laying down covering fire. The Predator tank has moved up, it's chasing down the remaining Terminators, but it moved so far that it can't actually shoot this turn. The only other thing to really move was this squad up here. They kind of got back into squad coherency. They opened up in the shooting phase. They saw their ex-brother Space Marines down here and opened up, causing no wounds though, unfortunately. So they survived. In the combat phase down here, as you can tell, there's a big hole where the 2 Heralds used to be. The Invictara squad wiped them out. So the Invictara squad have moved up 4 inches, ready to go into the Predator, get me a victory point as it's a heavy support choice, and my Chaplain has stayed still, securing me this objective here now. So we're going to be going over to the Ultramarines turn 4. Hopefully the Predator will die, and I'm going to lay everything I've got down there, and hopefully the other gun platform will go due to my tactical squad in the building. I've managed to rally my Terminators, so they are back into the game. They can't really do anything this turn, but they will stand and watch their Invictara's brothers hopefully smashing the Predator into pieces, as they are literally just a short distance away from it. The Chaplain has stayed still. Spartan has moved up. These guys have moved. I've also ran them. Managed next to 3 inches, so they're heading up towards the wood. And these guys have made it into the onto the floor now. These guys opened up and didn't do any damage whatsoever. Down here, the Scorpius opened up and scattered wildly, but the Spartan even did better and killed off the front 3. And obviously now it's going to be over to assault, and hopefully we can wave goodbye to the Predator. the Invictaris squad made it into combat with the Predator. Their Legatine axes made short work of the armour plating on the Predator, prizing it open, removing all of the hull points from the vehicle. So that's a heavy support choice. So that is another victory point for the Ultramarines. Over this side of the board, however, the Ultramarines made it into combat and then failed to do any damage. Took a wound back, killing off one guy, but I managed to pass my leadership, so that continues into the next turn. The only thing really that's happened for the word bearers that turn was the assault here in this building. The Ultramarines tactical squad managed to pull down the crew of the gun, removing them from the game. So I'm now consolidated down onto this objective down here. So with the Ultramarines turn left to go for turn 5, this squad is all that remains of the word bearers. So there we go then, guys, that is the game. Crushing victory for the Ultramarines. The word bearers, after their betrayal of Calth and their betrayal to the Emperor, deserved a good smashing across the battlefield, and that is what they had today. Considering on turn 3 we had no first blood at all, and then the Ultramarines in the last 2 turns have just annihilated their former brothers. So as always, guys, I hope you really enjoyed that battle. Please like if you like, leave us a comment. It'd be great to hear your feedback on the first proper Ultramarines battle report onto the channel. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we'll see you guys on the next one.